For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast of the 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in that games meeting. But I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. But if you'd like to take part in our future conversations, check out our socials. Yeah. Facebook is on the way. Because turns out we lost the page. And
I will fill in the blanks once we're done the spiel.
So yeah, so Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter, all of those links, and the new links will be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/popculturist, where you can watch us record this show live. We can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. Watch us on podcast services, put a give a 5-star rating and a written review. If you want to support the show financially, you can by heading over to patreon.com/popculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit without logos on it. But yeah, Max is absolutely fucking bang on. So the saga of the Facebook page has taken a new turn, possibly an end. So what feels like, was it 6 months ago?
I mean, it definitely came to a definitive end. It just no longer exists.
Yeah, so about 6-8 months ago, somewhere around there, I get this random notification that I have been removed as an admin of a page that I own for the Pop Culturist on Facebook. I'm like, that's fucking weird. Turns out myself, Max, I actually don't think you were an admin on there, Dylan, Josh, anyone that was sort of had mild moderator, but it was mostly just the three co-founders. We just got fucking Hadoukened off the page, and then nothing ever happened. So like, no one ever posted anything absurd. It didn't get repurposed for like, you know, people popping videos or selling people shit that we don't sell. Just went dead quiet. And then I went to check it yesterday. I was like, what's going on with that? The whole page is gone. So the saga ends because we just get to make a new one. That's pretty sweet. It's like fucking Star Wars. You thought the saga ended, joke's on you, they just made a new one. And is it going to be as good as the original? No. So yeah, we'll get to make a whole new Facebook page. So we'll have to grow that one from scratch again, which is inconvenient, but doesn't hurt. At least we have them back now. But no one really uses Facebook pages much anymore these days anyway. Do you, Max?
No. I use it as a chat service, and that's about it.
Yeah. I pretty much use it to like look at memories from years ago and go, oh, look at my kid taking his first steps. That's lovely. And
so I don't have to do that with Facebook because my phone just does that for me. It's like, hey, remember this day like 4 years ago and you took a photo of this random fucking piece of food that you were eating on the day? Yeah, how good was that?
I'm like, I do remember that food. That food was exceptional.
Every day, the first thing Hadley wants, like, can we look at today's photos? Because, you know, most of them are just her now.
Yeah. It is true. My phone is primarily my child, which is good fun. But yeah, let's come back. How you been, dude? How did things? Been scammed this week?
Nah, not this week.
Disappointed.
Nah, not this week. It's been a pretty crazy week. Not much is happening. Just doing a bunch of paperwork and applying for leave and all that fun stuff, and trying to my house is almost finished apparently. So I had this heart attack moment. I got an email from our broker. He's like, hey man, and I misread the date. The date clearly said like July of this year.
Yeah, and you thought Jan?
And I thought it was like March because apparently I just can't read. And it's like, if you don't finish your build before this date, your contract becomes null and void, and we just won't lend you the rest of the money that you need to finish your house because it's been 2 fucking years.
So what would they do in that scenario?
They basically cut their losses, and they're like, you owe us the amount that we've already given you. Fucking see you later. Good luck getting the rest of your money, dickhead. You had 2 years. So I then quickly get on the phone to the fucking building company, like, it's gonna be fucking done by July, right? And they're like, yeah, it should be done by the end of this month, early next month. They're like, you should have keys about mid-March. So I went and had a sticky beak. All their carpets in, all the floorboards are in. Like it's on the fucking final stretches.
Yeah.
I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's not coming as fast as I would like, but it is coming.
I want to have. I want to go have a little slicky peek at the new place, but then I think I just wait.
The doors are like fully locked now. We can't get in anymore. So we now have to play that waiting game. But yeah, it's just things are in motion. Ali's been packing the house up, putting everything in storage tubs with fucking label maker labels stuck on everything. We're getting a skip bin next week, and we're just gonna fucking start throwing shit out that's not coming with us. Like anything that's not coming with us is getting turfed. We've got fucking boxes of old clothes of Hadley's. We've got like 220-liter tubs of fucking toys that we're just gonna get rid of because she's got so much fucking shit. It's not funny. Yeah, so we're in full move mode. So I've applied for like 2.5 weeks of leave and getting
Does it feel good to sort of have it finally?
It's getting real good knowing that I'm not gonna have to be paying rent for much longer.
or rent and a mortgage.
Rent and a mortgage because I'm fucking sick of that. But yeah, we're getting there. It's been a hot 2 years.
It's been a journey. It's you know, here we are. Here's fucking Vin Diesel making quotes about how Fast and the Furious is like the Lord of the Rings. Nah. Max's fucking house build is like the Lord of the Rings. It's unreasonably long. There's a lot of climbing.
There's way too many short people.
There's a lot of short people.
There's a wizard who lost a fight in the drainage plant. Like he just fell. It was weird.
It started with more people than it ended with.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Oh, that was depressing. Oh shit.
Leadership swapped roles too many times.
Oh shit.
Has it been a great first experience as a first home buyer? Not entirely, but like fuck, we're getting there.
It's good to hear.
How's your week been?
Nothing like that. As you know, not a homeowner anymore. I hadn't had to worry about that. What have I had to worry about this week? Not a whole lot.
Whippersnipping, apparently.
Yeah, I was like, give my fucking whippersnipper back, you asshole.
Did you walk up my driveway and be like, this guy still needs these whippersnippers?
Yeah, I did. I was like, I probably should leave this here. His front yard's fucked. I took it back. I didn't even do it because the weather took a turn. I was like, oh, Bruins.
Yeah, I've been putting mine off because I'm like, I'm not going to be here for much longer. I don't want to have to do it twice before I leave. Now my front lawn looks like fucking Jumanji.
It looks brutal at the front there. But yeah, look, I've not done that much this week. It's been quite a low-key week for myself. No, there's not a whole lot that's been going around. The one thing I have been doing, though, and we'll get into the section now, games we've been playing. I know this is going to be...
well, before we get into that big topic, let me talk about the little games that I've been playing.
Shit, sounds good.
Before we go whole hog. So as we alluded to last week,
whole hog, nice one.
Yeah. As we alluded to last week, I got a new computer.
You did.
So I've been playing a lot of the PlayStation games that have come to PC. Thanks to shout out to the team over at PlayStation who sent us codes ages ago.
Like fucking when they launched, so like, here you go. I'm like,
but until now, neither of us have had a fucking PC that could run them.
I still don't.
So I've been playing Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yeah.
I've been playing Uncharted.
Yeah.
And I have been playing
God of War.
I've spent most of my time with Spoods, and that game is schmick. It is so good.
Did you ever finish Days Gone, by the way?
No.
Dude, Days Gone on PC looks mint and plays mint.
I'm sure it does, but every time I try and play it, it's so slow
the start
to
is
begin
very
with.
slow. It is very, very slow.
And I fall off real quick if it doesn't grab me, which is hilarious because you look at like Persona, which doesn't start until like hour 10. I'm all for that shit. I'll try. Maybe I'll give it another bell. Maybe I'll put it on my backlog challenge for this year because we all know
We
how
haven't
good
even
I am.
started that yet because
Because we all know how good I am at backlog
yeah,
challenges.
we just gave up. I at least hit one of them. You didn't. So yeah, you've been playing the Spoods.
So I've been playing the Spoods.
How does it run on the PCs?
So it defaulted everything to just fucking maximum, just went nuts. And then I scaled it back down because it was running at like a couple of hundred frames. And I'm just like, well, my screens only do 120 or 144 hertz. So I'll drop it back to that, lock it in. No frame drops, no nothing. I was just swinging around the city doing sweet flips and shit in the sky. I'm just like, this is good.
But after playing on the PS5, are you experiencing like a noticeable difference?
It's not super noticeable. Like obviously I'm not getting any frame dips where on occasion you would get a few every once in a while if there was too many enemies on screen at once. But I still think having, because I've been playing it with mouse and keyboard because I just haven't plugged a controller in. So obviously I have been my preferred playstyle is definitely still being on the console, but it is a lot of fun on PC, and it's definitely a well done port. So I've been having fun with it. I'll probably keep playing it.
Well, thankfully the campaign for Miles is like what 6-7 hours. Like it's actually really tidy.
Yeah, it's super short, so it won't take too long to get through it.
No.
And because I've already done it, I kind of know where I'm going, so I can take those, get through it a little bit quicker.
Nice. It feels weird because I'm curious, but like it's the same game. It's just on PC, and it probably runs just better. And like that's a simple answer. Like Miles ran so well on PlayStation. Like it's not drastically.
You'll have to come around one run.
You know, I'll have to give it a look, and if I can see it firsthand, I might be able to identify the differences.
Have some brewskis, play some games. Ooh. Maybe we can finally play Resident Evil board game.
Oh yeah, it's over there on the shelf. I can see it. Anyway, but listen, what we have been playing, as you mentioned, so the hog of the week, as you said, it's Hogwarts Legacy. So Will kindly provided a code from the team at PlAION Australia. The Hogwarts Legacy is the latest game from Avalanche, previously of Mad Max, and it's set in the Hogwarts Harry Potter universe. What's it called? That's not called a Harry Potter universe. Does it have a name for the greater universe? Magical worlds or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's a part of the magical world of fucking Harry Potter or whatever. It's set in like the 1800s, so it's like it's
100 years prior to the book setting.
Yeah, so way before like Voldemort and shit. You play as a student attending Hogwarts in their 5th year, and it's about you sort of understanding this ancient magic while dealing with what it's like being a student in your 5th year, and you get to learn all your beginning spells and enchantments and stuff, and it's kind of just a really ripper open world RPG. So, like, controversy aside, and we'll touch upon that a little bit later, because we've communicated our thoughts on J.K. Rowling in the past. However, you and I are coming at this game from a different angle. And I understand it's not as simple as like, well, she's not in it anymore. Like, she's got her money. She got her IP money at the start. She's got to make fucking barely cents on the dollar for any royalties. She's been paid her dues. Is it supporting her? I guess in some way it is. I don't support her personally, nor her beliefs, but it's that weird line where there's much bigger fish to fry, really. So if you want to focus your energy and your hatred, do it on something good, something relevant, something that can actually make change. This ain't it. But yeah, so Max, you being the big Harry Potter fan that you are, so much so that you have the story of the 3 brothers tattooed on your arm, you had a lot of anticipation coming into this game.
Yeah. I hyped myself up something shocking for this title. And it has not disappointed.
It most certainly has not.
It really hasn't. I've been having so much fun with this mini open world Harry Potter game. It's just, it looks great. we're both playing it on PS5. I know the PC version's having its own little hiccups. By little hiccups, I mean it's fucking broken to a degree. But on PS5, it runs great. It looks great. The story so far has been compelling enough to want me to progress, but the majority of my time is just fucking wandering around, checking out all the sites, fucking casting Revelio every 10 seconds to make sure I haven't missed anything along the path. I've spent time doing each of the little individual activities. I've done some monster hunting. I've done some flying time trials. I've done the fucking the summoning game where you pull balls from one side of the field to the other. I've done the dark arts dueling battle arena. The battle arenas are really fun. I've learnt all of the unforgivable curses now.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm like roughly maybe 50% of the way through the story, 60% way through the story. I'm sitting at like level 28. I look outrageous. My gear is hilarious. I've gone from this Elton John looking dude to I'm now in a full suit of armor with a pumpkin head. I've gone full Dark Souls. I'm just having fun with the game. It's that world is so magical and fun to be in. There's always something to see, something to do, and I'm just really enjoying my time with it. The combat's tight. The world traversal's great. The fact that you've got so many different ways to traverse, you can walk. The map's really great. The flying, the flu network, so you can fast travel between points if you don't want to take that time and travel from A to B. It's just really well put together.
Yeah, I would really agree with you, and I do. So, Avalanche haven't had a lot of history in this really, so it's kind of like not sure what they would deliver for this game. But to what you said, like for me, this is the Harry Potter game that we have all dreamt of since we were 7, 8, however old we were when it first came out. It is expansive in a way that I had simply not anticipated, in that the layout of Hogwarts feels like how it should, or how I remember. Like, it feels very organic to explore the castle. And like very quickly you start to remember the turns, and you can almost run to different classrooms without too much of an issue. Actually, if I'm honest, I think there's whole wings I haven't fucked with yet. Like, I tend to hang around, the sort of the main entrance and like the herbology and the dark arts, those sort of classroom ones. But there's whole wings I haven't seen yet. I know for a fact. So I myself am level 20, like 35 to 40%, according to the thing at the bottom. Put about 15 hours into it. I know today a big hunk of that time was just fucking arsing around with my kid. But yeah, and even then, like I'm saying, Hogwarts is expansive. The fucking whole world is expansive. So it's not just Hogwarts. Then there's Hogsmeade, which is in relative distance and everything seems all lovely. Then it's the surrounding area. So like they've really kind of expanded on the Scottish Highlands at which Hogwarts is based in. And there's like towns and like forests, just all this landscape to piss fart around in, and like find magical things and do trials of Merlin, because of course Merlin went to fucking Hogwarts. It's just a bunch of things to do. And as you said, the combat is tight. Like once you start to sort of get the spell combos, so in the bottom right hand of the screen, you have essentially hotkeys for 4 spells. As you level up, you can have alternates. So you've got upwards of 16 different sets of so 4 sets of 4, 16 16 spells going in any given time. So once you start to build those little quick keys, and you can almost like the second you enter combat, you go bang bang, and next thing you've got your 4 fucking brutal. In this case, I'm sure you have a 4 of just your unforgivable curses, and just wrecks everyone. Do you?
Maybe.
You most definitely do. You piece of shit.
I totally do.
Yeah.
Actually, I've got the way mine's set up. Just quickly, I'll also point out that this is Avalanche Software. They did Disney Infinity, not
My
Avalanche
apologies.
Studios,
Thank you.
who did Mad Max.
Thank you for the correction. Yes, because I
Um,
was going to say, but this would make sense if they did Mad Max. But no, from Disney Infinity to this,
crew.
huge difference.
Yeah, so I've got, and they're each spell's color coded too.
Yeah.
So there's purple, red. For combat, there's
Yellow.
purple, red, yellow, and green. And then each enemy can have a different shield type. So if they've got a yellow shield, you have to hit them with a yellow shield, yellow spell to break that shield to begin comboing and whatnot. And each one will do generally different things. So the red one seems to be
Very damage
based. The purple ones are utility, so they're your pulls, your pushes, your flips, stuff like that. And then your yellows are like levitate, freeze, transform.
Any sort of like control. So if you if you were to sort of look at in like your traditional like RPG or MMORPG, you know, your damage, your area of effect, your sort of control, you know,
like control, yeah.
All those different little variants that you do. So you got your super damage stuff that manipulates the enemies, and stuff that just locks them down.
Yeah. So combat's very fun and free flowing. You essentially hit them with a spell, you use your basic cast a few times to juggle them, and you hit them with another spell, and you kind of just rinse and repeat that. Each enemies tend to be more... certain spells will be more effective against certain enemy types, which is cool. And then certain spell combos work better together as well. So like... one of the spells slams you into the floor, so you want to have a spell that raises them up first so you can slam them further and they'll take more damage. Or you can freeze them and then slash them and they'll take bonus damage.
Yeah, you freeze them, slash them, they fall backwards, then you pull them back and then you smack them again.
Yeah, and then you've got like your undead enemies that can't be damaged until you set them on fire. So there's all these little things that change the combat up enough that it's not completely monotonous. Now, granted, most of my combats all go the same way. Once you hit level 5, it unlocks the talent tree. And there's a bunch of different specs you can spec into. So each spell has its own, essentially, extra talent, which gives them added effects. My favorite and the one that I use constantly is the transforms added effect. So on basic cast, it'll transform them into just like a barrel. So you can throw them around or do whatever. If you upgrade it, it transforms them into an exploding barrel. And then you fucking throw exploding barrels at people that you've just transformed into exploding barrels. And there's just chaos. It's really good. But at the moment, I've completely spec'd into the dark arts. So a lot of my damaging spells curse the enemy. And then the famous killing curse now will hit every cursed enemy at once. So I can just blast like fucking 17 guys at once.
So you go bing, 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 Avada Kedavra, everyone's fucked.
And it's like a fucking chain lightning. It just flows through everyone dies. Now, granted, it is a one-hit kill, as it is supposed to be. It's on like a 5-minute fucking cooldown, so you can't spam that shit. That's the balance.
Well, it's good to know. If you're going to massacre people, you have to use allocated times.
You gotta sit there and wait 5 minutes.
Imagine that, Voldemort having to wait 5 minutes.
That's the cooling off period to make sure you really want to.
Yeah, he's like, oh, if I'm going to murder a bunch, like straight murder some people, gives enough time to run away, I suppose.
Yeah.
But so, like for myself, so I've got like exploring the world spells. That's you've push, you pull, your Lumos, whatever. Then you've got a utilities one, which is like your go invisible. Repair things, whatever. And I have one that's just for the room of requirement. So it's all the transfig ones.
I had that, and then I realized that was dumb because I ran out of spell slots. So I got rid of all the stuff for the room of requirement.
Right now I don't have all the spells that you do. So for me, this works. But until
once I unlocked one of the the beast hunting stuff, I'm just like that all got taken over by the room of requirement stuff. I'm just like,
oh, most definitely.
I never go back there. ever, unless it like forces me to.
I'm growing a bunch of plants and stuff in there, so
I've always been too poor to buy the plants. It's because like so how you unlock a lot of the spells in this game is basically Professor Weasley is the deputy headmistress, and she goes and speaks to all the other teachers like, hey, this is a brand new student that's starting in its 5th year. You'll need to give them extra assignments so they can catch up. So it's do a bunch of bullshit tasks for teacher to unlock more shit. And like a lot of them are like craft this, well actually the term they use is acquire this potion and use it.
So either you can make it or you can just buy it.
So you can buy the recipe for like 1,200 gold, or you can buy the potion for 300, use it once, and then you never need it again.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that I just bought instead of buying the recipe or the formula for it, because it's kind of a one and done. I haven't been using the potions. I haven't specced into that tree.
Yeah, me either. But like, having them there, I can just go bing, and then I
have way too much fun just like blasting dudes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I
do. But yeah, look, with that as well, the game does look great. Like, there are moments, especially in sort of cutscenes, that Professor Frigg, nah,
Fig.
Fucking Frigg. Nah, it's Fig. And like Professor Fig, like there are moments where he looks amazing. The goblins look amazing. Like, especially the ones at Gringotts early on. No spoiler, it's the first 10 minutes of the game. It looks spectacular. Then there's the herbology teacher. Oh my god.
Oh, Professor Garlic.
Professor, yeah, smoking. Damn. Yeah, so I think everyone's going to be in love with the herbology teacher for a little bit, and that's cool. But as you mentioned, like, it's one of those things. Like, so I was playing with my son today, and for him, he just piss farted around the world because, like, I just got my broom when he came over, and he's like, "Oh, the broom!" So he's just flying around. Like, he is just simply flying around, exploring the Highlands. That's all he's doing. Anytime there's a remote combat, he just fucks off on his broom. And then all essentially he does, he goes around and he just wanted to fucking farm Moonstone for me. He just flies around, Revelios, which we'll discuss that too in a minute. Revelios, oh cool, ping, 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 and then fucks off. He essentially collected all the things that I need to make my potions and stuff. He's finding eggs and flies and whatever, which is fine. But yeah, like, because it is essentially a small open world, it's an open world RPG at its core.
Yeah.
It does have some of those RPG tropes. Huge map, bunch of little things on it. You've got it very similar to like the Witcher Vision or Aloy's Focus in Horizon or the fucking thing from Assassin's Creed. What's the thing that he sits in, hangs out in?
The Sync Towers.
Yeah, the adamantium.
Eagle eyes.
Yeah. So you can kind of go me, 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 and just kind of like scan all the area.
Eagle Vision. Thank you, Reverend Puck.
Eagle Vision. Thank you, Puck. Animus was the word I wanted. But yeah, so there's me, 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 and then you can suddenly like scan everything.
Hey,
OGB. So as you said, like as you explore the world, you go bing, and like every like 20 or so meters, like bing, and it does diminish some of the open world exploring as you kind of can just bing it and then suddenly you're seeing what's around you. But what I'm finding...
it does ping everything like collectibles, chests, like, and it goes through walls. So it is useful.
So you could argue that that's not a good thing. I would argue that it is because it's making me want to explore further. I'm like, ooh, what's over here? And it goes, bing, and like, there's a chest over there, but I can't get to it yet. How am I going to get to it? But what I'm also finding very similar to The Witcher is I feel there's always something. Like if I'm just running between, Hogwarts to Hogsmeade or Hogsmeade to another town, there's always something on the path.
Yeah.
Witcher was always praised for its like you go 35 seconds before you find something else cool to do. I'm having the exact same thing here.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Merlin trial or an animals or some enemies or, just cool shit. Like, oh, there's cool things to pick up to make potions. And then next thing you know, you find a goblin encampment. You know what I mean? Like, there's always something enticing you to keep moving forward and almost distracting you. As you mentioned, I've really done like screw all missions. I've spent what I would argue, like, out of the 14, 15 hours I've put in, I guarantee you 5 of them are missions. Main missions.
The game also rewards you for exploring. So, how you gain XP in this game is you essentially through either combat, completing quests, or filling out your field guide.
Yeah.
And the XP for filling out your field guide is exactly the same as you would get doing anything else. So you could hit like level 20 without actually playing through any of the story to begin with. Because as you level up, the XP required to level up doesn't increase exponentially. So you're still getting the same amount of XP for going and exploring it. So, for instance, like if you go to a famous location, there'll be a scroll there that will give you a little bit of background info on that place, and then it's like ping, you got 100 XP, and then you go to the next one, ping, 100 XP. Whereas you finish a quest, like for context, the main scenario quest gives you 220 XP. So if you find 2 of these things, you've essentially almost got equivalent XP from doing a quest.
And as you're traveling around with the quest or the missions,
you don't fall behind ever by going and exploring.
And yeah, and as of yet, nothing's there's gear that is gated, but like in terms of the world, I've not found anything that's gated yet. You might find enemies that are higher level than you, but it doesn't mean you can't take them on. It's like goes. Well,
no, it gives you a warning saying enemies of high level will be harder to beat, but they're not impossible.
Yeah. And like it is one of those things. Like if you are a fan of the world of Hogwarts, then you're learning a lot more about the world. Like I got to see, because I'm a Hufflepuff, I got to see the Hufflepuff dorm for the first time. It's not being shown in any other medium. Kind of looks like little hobbit holes, by the way, just so you know.
It's funny if you go to the entrance of their common room.
Yeah.
The fucking barrels squirt you in the face if you're not a
Oh,
if you're not Hufflepuff. It's like fuck off, spits at you.
Yeah. And you got your Slytherin, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No wonder you're doing dark arts, you piece of shit.
It is a very basic premise on how to pick your fucking
Mine
your
pool,
house.
I made a Wizarding World account. So it sorted me into Hufflepuff, which checks out because I think I did a quiz like fucking 6 years ago, and I was like Hufflepuff. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And it did my wands and all that sort of stuff too. So I didn't even have to go pick it. It just kind of went, hey, we've connected to that account that you made like literally yesterday. I'm like, yeah, that one. And it's bing.
Yeah. So I didn't connect all my stuff until after I picked everything. So like it does that thing where it asks you literally 2 questions. And I feel like the first question is just a fucking throwaway, and then you literally get
the next question is which house you want to be in.
Essentially, which house you want to be in, because it's 4 traits that we all know what they correspond to. So it's like, I want this one.
Like courage is Gryffindor, and
then if you pick wrong, it says if you don't want this, you can just pick your house anyway. So like you will always get what you want, and like each house has its own unique quest.
Yeah, I went to Azkaban.
And it turns out that unique quest is actually a fucking story mission. So the story mission plays out completely differently depending on which house you're in.
Boom. Hufflepuff. More like Hufflepuff, because I got to do a cool mission.
For me, I stole some toast and went into a fucking cave.
Really?
Yeah.
I went to Azkaban and spoke to a woman who went fucking insane.
Yeah.
Wrongfully convicted to Azkaban, by the way.
Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah. That's massive.
That joke went way over your head.
What did you say, sorry?
I said, seriously?
Oh, well done.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, I sold toast and went into a fucking cave. That was my unique. So, yeah, good times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm having a blast with it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's the controversy aside.
Is it going to win any Game of the Year awards?
No.
Has it set some records? Yes.
Yeah,
it is the highest. It is the highest viewed streamed single player game.
Well,
with like 1.3 million viewers. It beat Cyberpunk, which held the previous record at like 1.14. And like that was in the early access period. It hit that. So it was before the game was even released. Like, that's how astronomically popular this game has been.
Yeah, and like, look, we'll get into that stuff in just a moment. But yeah, like in terms of is this game going to win Game Awards? Probably not. Should it? No. Like, it is very, very good, and I do think that it is an exceptionally well-made RPG. But like, I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not finding it as groundbreaking as like God of War or Elden Ring.
It's not doing anything new.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm having a ton of fun playing it, but like, it's not going to win Game of the Year because of the world and the industry that it's in, but it wouldn't win it anyway because it's really, really good. But as you said, it's not just something. But yeah, well, it's touch upon some of that success, by the way. So we can't discuss this game without discussing the controversy around it, especially with the likes of with J.K. Rowling, etc. So I think personally, there's a lot of nuance here that's being missed. You know, it's the challenge of if you are choosing to be this black and white about something, you best be able to hold that up in almost every other example. Hence why everyone's like, oh, the example of like, you know, like, oh, you know, this, like, what about H.P. Lovecraft? You know, a lot of you play D&D, which is very heavily inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, and it's, you know, Cthulhu and all that sort of stuff. Legit confirmed fucking racist. He named his dog the N-word proudly. But he's dead now, and his stuff's in public domain. Does that make it okay? Is that the rule? Is the fact that JK's still alive, is that the line? You know, and then the idea of like, well, we don't want the money to go to someone that's going to pay for this or whatever. You have fucking no idea when you spend your money what it goes towards. Like Gloria Jeans as an example. Their parent company or their owners, whatever, have funded, you know, electrotherapy for gay people. People still buy their coffee, right? You know, and then I think there's a little TikTok that you sent me. They're like, you know, there's people like, hey, we don't want to support a transphobic billionaire, but everyone's on Twitter complaining about it. Now owned and run by a very public billionaire with transphobic values. So much so that their child has disconnected from them because of their beliefs. So once again, if you are going to be so belligerent, for lack of a better term, so like stuck on an ideal, you best be ready to back that up in every possible scenario. So if I myself, like, is it separating the art from the artist? A little bit. But once again, JK, just like George Lucas with Star Wars, Harry Potter is so much bigger than she is. It really is. She's nothing. Or she's at a point where Hogwarts could exist, or Harry Potter, or the magical wizardry world, or whatever, could exist in perpetuity without ever fucking talking to her again. It's that much bigger. In the same way, George Lucas helped create Star Wars. No one consults with him anymore. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's just so difficult to live an ethically moral existence, especially in the capitalistic world that we live in, where the means of production are near on obfuscated. Well, we don't see it.
Especially in the video game space too. With everything that's come to light recently, you'd almost be able to not buy anything from any publisher or developer because at some point down the line, it's tainted somewhere. Everything
you love has gross people in it. I love professional wrestling. Its history is based in fucking carny, gross shit. Is it getting better? It's certainly trying. It really is. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, one of the biggest spaces part of the Me Too movement was professional wrestling and movies. You know, like things that I enjoy. It's fucked. And it is like, yes, you pick and choose your battles, pick and choose what you have control over in this world, and you fight the fight for what you believe in. Once again, as I mentioned, do I believe that in J.K. Rowling's comments, her beliefs, etc.? No, not at all. But it's just, no. He's like, oh, you don't want to fund this one particular person. That's fine, totally cool, and I respect the shit out of you for having that opinion. But like, who knows that this Coke that I drank is, whatever. Disney! Fucking Walt Disney! Genuine anti-Semitic! But everyone fucking loves Disney movies, eh? Once again, if you're going to be that fucking strict and black and white, be prepared to hold it up. And once again, this complete tribalism that's coming, the removal of any sort of nuance, is only making the game more successful. People that are yelling at people, like, people are yelling about the game that those shouldn't play it, giving the game free coverage. Those that don't want to go against that are buying the game in droves simply just to fuck with those people, which makes them people angry, which makes them fuck with them. It's this vicious cycle. And I guarantee there are a bunch of people that are, yelling to the ceiling going, "Oh, don't buy this game, blah, blah, blah." Then who the fuck's watching this game be played on Twitch? I guarantee it's a lot of them. They won't buy it, but they'll watch it. They'll consume it in another way. I'm not the bad guy because I didn't buy it. But then again, the same people that are like, I bought it just to get the fucking shits up them. You're just as gross. Sorry, I have a lot of thoughts on this because it's just, the world exists in grey. That's nothing is black and white. Even the idea of this is good, this is bad. What's my version of good and bad is different to Max's version of good and bad. There are things that are universally good. There are things that are universally bad. Something that is universally good, that all people are treated with fucking respect they deserve and just the ability to be them. I cannot fucking argue that. But if we want people to exist in a world where they have the right to be them, we also have to the same level for people that choose to be shit because that's them being them. I don't have to agree with them, but I have to. If I want one, I have to have the other. Nothing's black and white. Everything is compromise. Now I know I've just ranted real fucking hard. Surprise. What's your thoughts, Max? Especially as someone with Harry Potter tattooed on your arm. Obviously this is a big thing for you.
Look, I've always been a fan of
racism. No.
So I've always been a fan of her work and not her as a person.
No, I've never liked her as a person at all. I forget she exists.
And it's the same through a lot of things. A lot of horrible people in the past have created such defining things now. I think I don't know if it was you I was talking to or someone else, but you point out that the world's grey and you can't have straight black and white. There's the whole thing of because a lot of the arguments about this is if you buy this game you are a transphobe, which I don't believe.
So my 6-year-old because he was playing it today is a transphobe now? No,
because by that logic it's like if you buy an Activision game you're a fan of sexual assault. If you own a Volkswagen, you're a fan of the Nazi Party. Because
what was that? Was it Dolce and Gabbana? No,
it's the S&M children advertising.
No, there's the company that made the uniforms for fucking the Nazis, and they are one of the most prolific fashion icons in the world.
But Volkswagen cars were like Hitler's baby child thing. It was one of his things. He wanted to get cars made, and that's the company that shot out from that. It's a weird. You have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. It's one of those. It's a weird hill to die on because, yes, she will get royalties from this. Probably not much per copy sold or whatever. She probably gets a big chunk and then whatever comes through.
Yeah, she gets IP dollars and then gets fucking 0.00. You know how, remember Taylor Swift's bitch about getting X amount of dollars per play on Spotify? That's the equivalent of what J.K. Rowling's going to get. I fucking promise you that.
So, yeah, it's just one of those things. At the end of the day, sometimes life is short and you need to do what you enjoy. And I don't see me buying this game directly harming other people. My views are not in line with hers. I'm not buying this to show her support. I'm not doing this because of that. It's I've had such fond memories of this world from when I was growing up, and it means a lot more to me than what she does as a person and her views, and I can separate that out. Now, if that makes me a horrible person, so be it. I don't think it does, but yeah. Everyone has their own opinion, and everyone's entitled to that opinion.
The other, like, to coincide with that, one of the problem, like, everyone the only thing that we can control in this world really is ourselves. Period. Right? So I can control what I do, Max can control what he does, etc., etc. And that means we have our own autonomy of choice. So having someone come in and like get berated for the choice that they made, like, streamers or whatever, I'm not going to sit here and, share all the articles of like, oh, fucking, it was like cis white girl gets bombarded for playing a trans game or whatever. Fucking, that's clickbaity bullshit. It's wrong too. But like people that are going out of their way, I don't think I've cared this passionately about anything that I would want to go onto a streams for games I don't care about. Pardon me, just to hurl abuse at someone. That's a different level of fucked up, right? And like, haven't we learnt anything in the last X amount of years? Like going out, yelling labels at everyone, either side, like just fighting, digging in deeper is harder and harder and harder and harder. It doesn't change minds, man. If you're on the right and you want to stand there and yell at the left, you're not going to change their mind. You're on the left, you're going to dig in and start yelling at the right, you're not going to change their mind. All you're going to do is either have people fucking dig deeper, create a larger divide between this, and it's going to perpetuate and continue to be absolute garbage. Like, the world fucking sucks already. Don't make it harder. Like, come the fuck on, please. Please. Fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it. All right, let's have a look. We've had some jump in the chat here. That's how we go. So MGB's jumped in. Surprisingly, I think after everything that happened with HL, Hogwarts Legacy and its publisher WB, Discovery after their first year, I'm surprised how they managed to nail it out of the park. Well, once again, Warner Brothers Discovery in and of itself is a hot mess right now, and what I do applaud is that because this game did hit it out of the park. It is a really, really good game. And like I know a wider review went out today or yesterday with like a 1 out of 10. And I'm sorry, that is objectively not possible. This game in no way, in literal metric of values, is a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean the headline was the game is mid at best, and I'm like, then why isn't it 5 or 6?
If it's mid at best, it's 5 out of 10, mate. Yeah. Like, once again, everyone sits here and hurls abuse about like, oh, video games reviewers are biased. There's no objectivity. They've just reinforced that in one moment. In one moment, they have devalued and removed any sort of potential validation for games criticism as a legitimate form of criticism. That one person. Every other outlet that has genuinely, given the games on its merits or whatever, like, hey, this is the game, this is my experience, this is what I'm paid to do, here you go, here's my thoughts on it. That, I respect it, even in the world of the potential backlash of all this, in the same way that even we, as fucking nobodies on the internet, we are putting our shit on the line by having this conversation today. But like, I feel I kind of want to do it, right? I'm, it's just, I haven't shared that I'm playing the game on socials. I haven't really spoken about it, but this is the platform that I have, and my platform is understand the nuances, please. But yeah,
it's a weird position to put yourself in. Like if you were so against playing the game, just don't play it, don't review it, don't.
There's tons of things that I don't like. I don't share, so don't watch them.
Yeah,
I just don't get involved with them.
Because like, if your point is. If your point is by doing this, you're supporting her, blah, blah, blah. Even giving her a bad review is still giving that game publicity. It's still putting it out there. It's still...
You are adding oxygen to the fire.
And like, sure, that some of your readers will be like, cool, I respect that, 1 out of 10. I'm not going to play it. And then you'll get the other side of the thing who are going to be like, I'm going to buy it just because I can now.
Yeah.
Just because it'll annoy you. And like... a lot of the sales are probably that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have made that definitive black and white. If you buy this game, you will be blocked or deleted, whatever. And a lot, like you look at those comments and they're all like, "Are you telling me all I had to do was buy this game and you'll stop talking to me and I won't have to put up with your shit anymore?" Cool. I'll buy it on every single console. Like there are people who are going to be like that, and like that's the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, don't be that guy.
And like, look,
But
people, people like friends of mine that are in the space that see this video, whatever. If you feel the need to block me and whichever, go ahead. I would like to think that you know who I am and my beliefs and my values. If I haven't presented to you who I am as a person, and that me just choosing to play this one game, like for review, is that staggering of a life change, okay, like I'm sorry, man. Like, sorry. Simple, yeah, it's real simple as that. Josh Robinson, yay, Josh, what's going on? Literally everything we do enhances something bad, 100%. 100%, right? Oh, we don't want to, even the idea of fucking, what's the example that always gets brought up? Almond milk, right? It's better, it's the right choice. It's not, it's vegan. Yeah, but you know how much growing almonds at the scale at which is needed to make for the demand of almond milk fucking obliterates the environment.
Fucking nut juice.
Yeah, and then they've got titties. Like, I love that joke. It's so fucking dumb. MGB jumps in again and goes, I imagine it's probably best to wait for the dickhead trolls who bought it in spite to sell their copies and buy it pre-owned. Yeah, but even then, like, isn't that still part of the idea? Is like, if you are that belligerent on your thought, I know belligerent's probably not the right word, but like, if you want to be that hardball on your decision, then you technically couldn't pick it up discounted. You technically can't pick it up pre-owned. If someone gave you a free copy, you would have to go, no, I'm sorry. It depends. It depends on if the justification is I didn't spend money on this, therefore I have not supported this person like fungibly. Like I said, it depends on where that line in the sand has been drawn. Yeah,
it just over a video game seems like a very weird hill to die on.
Well, yeah. Once again, like that TikTok that we talked about before. Like, what about Harry Potter Lego? What about Harry Potter books? What about all the Harry Potter merch at EB Games? Are we going to start slamming EB Games because they sell a bunch of Harry Potter merch? Well, pop culture. Yeah. Do we shit on pop culture now for assisting?
Universal Studios. They're the ones who have Harry Potter.
Yeah, right? Most definitely. Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like you said, it's now to the point where it could probably live without her, and it's
It has, because I forget she exists until like I think about Harry Potter, not often, but I have, the Harry Potter big fucking hand, what are they called, the picture books for me to read with my son. I think about that and reading them with my son more than I ever think about her. As far as I'm aware, she doesn't fucking exist. But in the comment here, the world is fucked up. Simple as that. The world is fucked up. It is fucked up. And the world has been built up on fucked up things, and you can't change history. All you can do is understand the bad things to make the world as better as possible. That's exactly right. You learn from the mistakes of the past. You learn, these things. So the idea of, look, some people deserve to be fucking cancelled, period. But if people aren't given the opportunity to change and grow and be better, then why would they ever change? And then there's mention here in the chat of like that website that exists just to shame people that played the game on Twitch. Oh my God. What a waste of your time to make that page.
All right. Well, we've been talking enough Harry Potter.
Yeah. I think we've covered pretty much everything.
I was going to segue through. So after I think we've talked about enough Harry Potter marketing. Let's talk about some PlayStation marketing.
Boom. In a section we call Inform the Players, we tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation.
That is still going crazy. So as a part of the Live from PlayStation campaign, this weekend, a Horizon-themed pop-up cafe launched in Paris for the weekend only.
Aww.
But never fear, Sony may have something in store during the Super Bowl on Monday.
Oh, yes.
So Sony has been promoting a Blizzard from Midgard is coming this Sunday evening and has encouraged fans to tune into the big game to learn more. Now, I'm assuming it's a Super Bowl. I know there's soccer. I know there's a soccer match going on at that time. I don't think it's that.
No, it's Super Bowl. Yeah. So tomorrow or the day this episode goes live, it's Super Bowl day.
Yeah.
See, this is great. So, like, we've sat here and we've talked about like PlayStation Australia's like PlayStation to Plate campaign they did, where they did like the dessert decided by Ratchet and Clank. They did like a fucking sandwich based out of The Last of Us in Sydney. There was a there was a pasta dish inspired by the one bowl they eat food of in fucking Uncharted 4. You know, Mjolnir with God of War Ragnarok. Like, it's a great incentive. And to have it
fucking Donut King Donuts.
Donut King Donuts. Like, where I'm sitting at right now, over there, I have my empty box from the donuts and my bag from PlayStation to Plate. You know what I mean? So it's like
that dessert was so good.
That Ratchet and Clank.
I remember you ringing me that day. You're like, I was fucking bored, so I drove to Melbourne. Do you want one of these?
Yeah, I was like, hey, this campaign ends in like 3 days, so I drove to Preston to buy a dessert. You want one? I literally drove just to get a dessert. It was so good. But yeah, so like, yeah, in short, something's dropping at Super Bowl. I don't know what it's going to be for God of War. God of War's out. Like, what are they going to promote? Unless it's the Amazon show? No, it's way too soon for that. But this expanded marketing.
DLC?
Nah, well, they said there was going to be any. Like, expanded is cool. We've talked, like, there's been constant discussions around, like, PlayStation's too quiet, too quiet, too quiet. Well, they're suddenly starting to ramp pretty hard. Which can only mean they're building to something, I hope. Like a state of play.
This is you. You keep going.
Oh, cool. I was going to let you sit on it for a little bit. I was like, I don't remember who's going nice. But yeah, state of play, right? Oh, your mate, Jeff Grubb.
My mate.
Wait, don't you listen to his fucking pod?
Me and Grubby go, wait, no.
Then who's the guy? Who's the dude you listen to?
Canada.
My apologies. Is it Jeff in it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I get my Jeff mixed up.
Fuck it.
Shane's mate.
Shane's mate.
Yeah. Stop magic curse. What's going on? Yeah. Sorry, you're not your mate. A different Jeff.
Not my mate.
Not
Different
Goldblum either. Jeff Grubb, speaking on his latest Games Mez podcast, Grubb reckons that Sony could be plotting not one, but 2 State of Plays events before E3 2023 takes place in June. The first is rumored to be a smaller showcase and could apparently be within the next month or so. And the second is set to a larger summer broadcast, which immediately conjures expectations of a proper E3 style PlayStation presser. Now, before I jump in with my thoughts, what's yours?
Would make sense. They're obviously going to do something around June for E3.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to E3. They will have to show something, like, surely, because everyone else is going to be dumping all their stuff then. It would be crazy if they didn't. With Marvel Spider-Man 2 expected to drop this year, I would anticipate that getting seen in the June one more so than the one coming up soon. If there is one coming up soon, I would imagine it's probably going to be anything that's coming out like the first half of the year. We'll probably see Final Fantasy. We will probably see. I'm hoping for is it Hollow Knight Silksong? It's supposed to be front end of this year. You know, maybe we'll get a cool little indie thing. Something will happen. I mean, with VR 2 weeks away, maybe they're gonna be like, "Here's a fucking VR state of play. Here's all the shit that." I know we confirmed
about it, yeah.
Here's all the shit that we haven't spoken about. You thought it was 30 games at launch. It's fucking 33 games.
Well, apparently it's like 100 in the first quarter, I guess.
Yeah, so you know that would make sense. I wouldn't be surprised if the day after this goes live, we get a PlayStation blog saying, "Hey, there's fucking something's happening Thursday morning. Get ready."
Yeah, probably. This didn't happen. But yeah, with PSVR like 2 weeks away, it wouldn't surprise me if there's something. But like, I would also argue that I'm not going to believe anyone, not a single fucking person, that talks about state of plays. Because the last year and a half, everyone's like, it's coming this week, it's coming next month. All of you have been fucking wrong, all right?
It's funny. Everyone picks the fucking PlayStation Plus lineup month after month after month, but no one can nail down a fucking state of play.
Yeah, everyone's like, no, can tell you exactly what the next fucking 3 months worth of state of play PS Plus game is going to be. But like, apparently a showcase which should have a number of parties involved, no one can nail a date. Fuck it. Like, so until I hear about it, whatever. But the short answer is, outside of Spider-Man, which is assumably in October, November, we have no idea what any the future holds apart from Wolverine. That's it. So some form of state of play needs to happen. I'm going to say June because normally we see it in October, but the last couple of Octobers have come past with nothing. So We need to know what the next 18 months looks like. Sure, that's simple. And like, I understand that PlayStation have been pretty quiet, especially on the back of all the Activision Blizzard stuff, and they don't want to sit there and talk about all the cool shit that they have coming. With the idea is they're like, oh, you know, we're fucking failing without Call of Duty. Look at all this cool shit that we have. It's tough, but they need to do something.
Well, thank you for bringing up the Microsoft merger, because let's talk
I
some
read the sheet.
wars.
I knew what was next. I planned a bit. This guy.
Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick has accused Sony of, quote, trying to sabotage...
Bobby Kotick, you
quote,
are not the person to be accusing people.
Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of the company, and claims that PlayStation's boss, Jim Ryan, has, quote, stopped talking to both parties involved.
Hey, Bobby Kotick, can you start talking about all the massive sexual assault that happens in your workplace?
In an interview with the Financial Times, Kotick has stated that, quote, Sony's entire leadership team has stopped talking to anyone at Microsoft.
Good.
I think this is all Sony just trying to sabotage the transaction. The whole idea that we are not going to support a PlayStation, or that Microsoft would not support the PlayStation, it is absurd, end quote. The UK CMA also has this to add. According to their findings, the merger...
CMA,
quote,
that's the Country Music Awards.
it's the consumer marketing people. I think it's consumer marketing, you fuck. Anyway, according to their findings, the merger could, quote, make Microsoft even stronger in cloud gaming, stifling competition in this growing market and harming UK gamers who cannot afford expensive consoles, end quote. It adds that agreeing to the acquisition could also, quote, harm UK gamers by weakening the important rivalry between Xbox and PlayStation gaming consoles. It explains the, quote, Xbox and PlayStation compete closely with each other at present, and access to the most important content, like Call of Duty, is an important part of that competition. Reducing this competition between Microsoft and Sony could result in all gamers seeing higher prices, reduced range, lower quality, and worse service in the gaming consoles over time. Now, Microsoft, for its part, has responded swiftly, reiterating its commitment to releasing Call of Duty on PlayStation platforms for at least 10 years. Quote, our commitment to grant long-term 100% equal access to Call of Duty to Sony, Nintendo, Steam, and others preserves the deal's benefits to gamers and developers and increases competition in the market. What does 100% mean? When we say equal, we mean equal. 10 years of parity on content, on pricing, on features, on quality, on playability. End quote.
This deal is so not going through, eh?
It's so going through.
There's no fucking way now.
Yeah. What they'll
all this
do,
shit just keeps coming out.
No, what they'll do is they'll like fucking split off Call of Duty, sell the rest of the company, and then still just have... It'll go through in some way, shape, or form.
Like a real bastardized version of it. They get all this shitty Activision IP that they didn't want.
They'll probably literally get everything but Call of Duty. But Call of Duty will still be owned by this company, and Microsoft will be the parent company anyway.
It's completely like, unconnected
it'll be this weird mismatch of bullshit legal crap jargon. That's the word I'm looking for. And it'll be there somewhere. I think the deal will go through, but it's just...
I would agree to be a real bastardized version. It kind of makes it like... It's very interesting. I remember when this first started happening.
Because there's no way... That I just want to quickly point this out. There is no way that they can guarantee 100% parity on content, pricing, and definitely not fucking quality if this motherfucker's coming to Switch every year. Like... You are not going to get PlayStation or Xbox quality Call of Duty on your fucking Switch. I'm sorry. It's just not happening.
Yeah. Once again, it's fascinating. As I said, when we first started paying attention to this, when it first all dropped, I was like, what the fuck is Sony doing? They're playing long game. Like, they're playing an incredible long game. More like, instead of crying Jim Ryan, I think it's like styling Jim Ryan. Like, he's fucking playing. Like, he's playing smart. Everyone think he's playing. This motherfucker's playing 4D chess over here.
Yeah, apparently they did a survey not long ago. I don't remember the sample size, but apparently 76% of the people went, we buy PlayStation because of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's like who bought it? Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't understand those people.
Me either. But like once again, we live in a very we do live in a very entitled space. It's actually very funny. I was thinking about it this week. I was talking to someone and I mentioned that, I've seen like fucking 7 episodes of Last of Us already. They're like, how? Like, I just emailed someone. And then I was like, oh wait, that's not common.
Yeah.
I had that moment of like, oh shit, oh hang on. What? Because it's been like I've been doing this for like 9 years now. And like I just forget that not everyone can just email someone, and like they know people by name. I can just go, "Hey man," and then they go, "Yeah, what's going on?" Boop. You know what I mean? Like I just forget that that's. I know that sounds like me bragging, but it's literally me going, "I'm aware that I have to, what's that expression? Check your privilege." I constantly have to check my privilege around the games because, like, I understand. Like for me, it's not impressive anymore, but to some people, it isn't. Also, because like, who fucking cares? But for some people, it really is. I just forget. I completely forget. Yeah, and like it's even this. Like, this doesn't affect me. We'll be okay. Well, we aren't the average consumers. Not even remotely. I've not been an average consumer for almost a decade. I have no idea what the fucking real world is when it comes to like gaming purchases or whatever. I couldn't even imagine the idea of me having to pay for my games again.
Says the guy who's been offering to suck dick for the last 3 months to buy a PSVR 2.
Offer is still available, by the way.
Hurry, offer and soon.
Hashtag brought to you by Manscaped Lip Balm. Your balls will thank you.
Oh,
Quick bits. I can't transition out of that. It's got to run to the next one. Quick bits. Rumor has it, Max, Final Fantasy Tactics could be making its return in the form of a remake or remaster. Wasn't this already on the cards?
Yeah, so apparently Tactics Ogre Reborn did well enough that they're apparently moving on to this, which is cool.
I swear this was in the NVIDIA leak. Or was Tactics?
Probably. I mean, everything's been in the NVIDIA leak.
It's true. Tom Clancy's The Division Deuce Season 11, Jesus Christ, has been delayed. Due to localization breaking the entire game.
Apparently they cannot fucking update the game. They localized it and they just the whole engine's just fucked itself. Yeah.
Because it's done 11 seasons, for fuck's sake.
It was supposed to launch like a week ago.
It's like a house of cards, man. It's just like too many cards. Jesus Christ. It's got
spaghetti coding.
Yeah. They just have to patch shit to patch shit to patch other shit, and then who knows what's ended up as. Octopath Traveller 2, its demo is out now on your PlayStation, and the progress carries over to the full game, which launches on the 24th of something.
This month. 24th of this month.
Sorry, you just said the 24th.
Yeah, I thought I'd be reading the quick bits, so I just shorthanded it. It's this month, in like 2 weeks.
As mentioned before, Hogwarts Legacy breaks live streaming records with 1.3 million viewers. Cyberpunk previously held the record with 1.14. And finally, Overwatch 2 is getting a dating sim to celebrate Valentine's Day. Everyone is going to smash the woman with the healer with the wings, because I imagine there's a lot of Rule 34 about her.
You mean Mercy?
Yeah.
How long has it been since you played Overwatch?
They just brought in the guy that looks like Luke Cage, but isn't Luke Cage. The dude with the...
Yeah.
And even then, like, I played at launch and then nothing, and then I'll fucking Doomfist. Thank you, Puck. See, Puck knows. Puck knows his fuckable Overwatch characters. Completely.
Way to put fucking Puck on blast right now.
I still love you, Puck.
All right. Upcoming titles this week. On the 14th of February, we have Journey to the Savage Planet Employee of the Month Edition, PS5. Labyrinth of Galeria, The Moon Society, PS5, PS4.
So Puck comes and goes, I mean, there's also May, Diva, and Widow, and Tracer. Puck knows what's up.
Souls of Kronos, PS5, 10 Dates, PS4, and Wanted Dead, PS5. 15th of February, we have City Skylines Remastered, PS5. 16th of February, we have Shadow Warriors 3, the definitive edition, coming to PS5 and PS4. We have Theaterism, Final Bar Line, PS4. 17th of February, we have Gigantosaurus, Dino Kart, PS4. Paw Patrol, Mighty Pop Save Adventure Bay, PS5.
That's already out.
Rooftop. Apparently, it's not. Don't lie to me.
Must be getting up. Okay.
Rooftop Renegade PS4, Rise of the Fox Hero PS5, PS4, Tales of Symphonia Remastered PS4, and Wild Hearts PS5.
Well, Wild Hearts is probably the most exciting one there. But, like Mighty Pups is already on PS5. I'm positive.
Is it?
Because I played it with my kid, and we played the PS4 version, which had the American dub. Then we played the PS5 version, and it defaults to the British voice actors. And even my kid went, in eventually his words, "What the fuck is this?" And I nearly died. He goes, "Everyone sounds like an idiot." I'm like, "Ha ha, they do."
Yeah, according to Google, it released in 2020, but why is it on my list of shit that's coming out this week?
That's what I'm saying.
Hey man, it was on the list.
Puck also adds, "I'm a dude on the internet. I know things." Yeah. Yeah, look, I think Wild Hearts is probably the most one that's intriguing. That's like the EA's Monster Hunter, yeah. Now, speaking of privilege, I should email EA. So we'll talk about. I'll send them the Dead Space stuff because I haven't done that yet. Oops. But yeah.
Since I finished Forspoken for Square, can you hit up Square for Octo?
Yeah, do.
Please.
I can do that. Anyway, big thank you for everyone for joining us in what was essentially just how we're doing, Harry Potter rant, some news, and then we roll credits and we're out of here.
We roll credits, we're out of here.
Yeah, easy enough. Thank you everyone for joining us this week. I hope you appreciate the bullshit that we say and do, and thank you. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. That's a risky move. Let us know what your thoughts are about Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy in the comments below. This can only be bad or good. I know. Look,
be gentle, people.
No, like I said, I trust our audience to sort of have some, have that understanding, have that nuance, to get involved. So, Max, send us home.
Yeah, sorry, I was in the middle of something.
Clearly. What was more important than doing the show live on the internet?
I was trying to think what I was going to type, and then I just had a mind blank, and then just like throw to Max. I'm like, I still can't think.
Like I don't know I can't remember the first thing I was trying to do.
Anyway, this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those you choose. But if you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook coming soon.
It is. It's come back. It's back. It's new. It's improved. No, I'm not. It's new and exactly the same. I guarantee it. Oh, do you remember now?
Yeah, I'm now typing again.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculture so we can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, it's the 5-star rating and review. If you watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe to the comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/popculture, as well as our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop, where you buy shirts, other assorted shit without logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was for the players.
Fuck, at least I can remember my own name. That would have been awkward.
See, that's at that moment of like, fuck, if I've forgotten my name before, I guarantee you I've totally forgot my name before. Especially in the opening of this show. I've done this, 284 times, and I still fuck it up.